I got a visa to South Africa that I met him face to face. But we've been having a relationship that is ministry based for about 2 years before we eventually met. This was the condition he was in as at the time I met him. Okay? Give me the tape. Please listen.
Good evening, apostles. I hope you are well. Yes, sir. So, well, the beginning of 2020, I encountered an experience I didn't know how to deal with. As a minister of God, I had this young prophet who had his own ministry, who came to me for mentorship November 2019. Then in June 2020, I got to discover that this prophet was having some serious issues and attacks in his life, spiritual attacks in his life.
All right, so a younger minister approached this person that I'm talking to, and that younger minister, unknown to this preacher, was part of a cult. All right? When we say a cult, would mean that there is a deity in the center of the fellowship that you are introduced to, and then you use the influence of that deity on the platform as masquerading as if you are doing ministry. And there's a lot of that right now that is going on in Africa. There's a lot of that right now that is going on in Europe. There's a lot of that right now that is going on in different parts of the world. So he got involved with this young guy, and he began to exercise oversight over the young minister. And then eventually he found out that the young minister was in a serious situation. And the situation was that he was part of a cult. And at the time he met with the young man was trying to dissociate himself from the occult group. Are you with me? Unfortunately, very, very unfortunately, the grandmaster of the occult group happened to be in Nigeria. Unfortunately, I don't know why. The name of Nigeria appears in dark quarters. That will not be the case forever, in the name of Jesus. I'm not talking about a Nigerian in Port Harcourt, a Nigerian in South Africa. So the guy exported the ways of the deity. In what traveling bag did he carry the spirit from the airport, Muritala Mohammed Airport, Lagos, to South Africa, and established that order of priesthood there, and was getting patronage from pastors? So the young man was trying to dissociate from that occult group. All right? Please listen carefully. Yeah? Go on.
Ministries and everything that he was involved into, because he was trying to leave an occultic group or network he was initiated into. He joined an occultic group and got initiated into this satanic network while he was a minister of God, and ever since he then was tormented by demonic spirits and went everywhere looking for help, but no minister could deliver him. Then in July 2020, he confessed to me and told me the whole story of how he, what he did and how he was initiated into the satanic group because he wanted church growth. After I heard everything, I really did not know how to reconcile such a brother back to the Lord, as the case was new to me. But then I asked him to pray and confess Psalm 25 and told him I'll pray for him. Apostle, the very same day I knelt to pray for this particular gentleman, I saw the face of the Nigerian pastor who initiated him into this occultic spirit looking at me. I could see it with my eyes closed. The face of this gentleman. I opened my eyes and the image disappeared immediately. After this incident, I started having an awkward experience. At first, it started as a thought pattern that came on my mind that was insulting the Lord, insulting God, insulting the Spirit of God. I rebuked the thought in shock because I didn't know what was going on. It was the first time even to experience.
The first symptom that he began to experience the moment he knelt down to begin to pray for the young man was that he saw in his subconscious the image of the Nigerian pastor that was a grandmaster of the occult group. The next symptom he began to see was that the spirit of blasphemy was thinking through his thoughts. Are you there? Is there anybody in this auditorium or anybody online that sometimes you feel an imposing thought? You know this is not your thought, but it's imposing. It's imposing. Anyone ever had that experience before? Imposing thought. Now let me tell you what is happening. It is because of a priesthood. It means there is a priest that considers you deadly, and that priest has found a way of releasing demons into your space. So those thoughts that you were thinking were not independent. They were thoughts that were facilitated and imposed upon your mind by demons. Are you there? By demons. And that is the reason for which we want to talk a little bit about much deeper about the subject in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10. One evidence that shows that you are under spiritual assault are those imposing thoughts. Imposing. In this case, the thoughts are in the shape of blasphemy. So the spirits that were responsible were the spirits of blasphemy. Once upon a time, when I was a younger minister, we had not yet built this auditorium. We were in the other prayer tent in Wurukum. Then this lady shows up for counseling, and she bullied all the protocol and bullied her way into my office. And I asked her to sit down, and then she said she's in trouble. She doesn't understand herself, and she began to tell me, if the thoughts come, she will tell me what she's thinking, and then they are all blasphemies. So I now realize from my little Bible study that it was the spirit of blasphemy that was imposing itself upon her thought life. And anytime that happens, anytime that takes place, it is because a priesthood has been set up and demons have been deployed to superimpose that consciousness on the thoughts of an individual. So I had to walk her through the process of pulling down strongholds. Somebody say pulling down strongholds. So the first symptom that this pastor, and this is a genuine pastor,